Okay, so this is not a conspiracy theorist. Okay? And this video is called Nazism Is Illuminism. I know that that's not entirely factual. I know that there are these other groups that, you know, Roman Catholics and royalty and elites that, you know, probably more properly should be called that. But what I want to point out is that one of the major threats in the last, you know, whatever number of decades, since the end of World War II, has been the Nazi Party, the Nazis. And if you don't think that's true, if you think that, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory, then go to your nearest, you know, major city that you can reach, small or large, and just look and see what I can see. Like, if, for instance, if I go, you know, to a number of cities nearby where I live, I can find, I found a lot of these what I'm calling chase the Nazi banks. These are popping up all over the United States. Don't tell me that's not the Nazi Party. You need to go look at that swastika up there and then tell me that. So anyway, so I'm going to talk about a couple things. For instance, one, well, a range of relevant issues that not only are indicative that the Nazi Party is still out there and doing things, but that they're, you know, a major threat, and that answer a lot of other questions that don't otherwise might not make much sense. So I just want to start with a basic equation, which is, if you take Nazi technology that was developed during World War II and you multiply it times Tesla technology that was developed prior to World War II, and then you put it together and you take these Nazi scientists and bring them to the United States and give them safe haven in the United States military, then that equals UFOs, weather modification, everything that all the conspiracy people are talking about. And if during World War II to trade with the Nazis was trading with the enemy, then what, after post-World War II, what does that make the U.S. military officials and organizations who took in Nazi scientists? Are they traitors then? Is that treason? Anyway, so there's three things to keep in mind that would tie in with the Nazis being involved in various affairs, that we can all kind of find the kind of hints of their activity. There's a couple of things to keep in mind. That after World War II, the Nazis had a vendetta against African Americans. They had a vendetta against the United States of America, and they had a vendetta against the Catholic Church. Now, let me give you the reasons. Okay, the reason that they had a vendetta against African Americans, yeah, okay, all the racial superiority BS, but really it's because a black man whooped their ass in the Olympics. Okay, period. That's all it is. So it's one of those things. And so if you look at the drug trade and all the gang stuff in all the, you know, black communities and so on, all throughout the United States, what you're seeing is I had always known it was an organized group that was doing it, and an organized group that was clearly military. I had assumed it was the CIA or whoever, you know, because there were some indications in that direction. But now I realize it's the Nazis. The Nazis are the ones entirely, probably almost exclusively responsible for the international drug trade around the world, unless they sold out their stake in it to the mafia or to some other groups. I think there probably still are. If you're selling dope in the ghetto, you're selling it for the Nazis. I think it's probably a fact. So now, of course, it's reasonable that they would have a vendetta against the United States because they got their ass whooped in World War II. Yeah, punks. Anyway, so now their vendetta with the Catholic Church is interesting because the Catholic Church actually, you know, basically is the reason there was a Nazi party, you know what I'm saying, and communists and all the rest. But they had a vendetta against them specifically because the Catholic Church hung their ass out to dry. So, you know, all this stuff with priests getting outed and all this stupid stuff that you see in the news, all of that, man, is you know, being precipitated by the Nazis. And that's good, you know, because, I mean, the Catholic Church is the Roman Empire. You know, the Roman Catholic Church is the Roman Empire. It never went away. So this is the same, you know, elite priesthood, you know, royalty, you know, that you also see all the royalty and kings and all this BS. This is the same group that's been ruling for millennia, but now you have two groups. You got the Nazis on one side and these guys on the other. And I think the reason all these power structures, they got all smug, you know, in more recent times and said, yeah, we're going to have a new world order, dude, and all that, is they must have made some secret agreement with the Nazis to where the Nazis would say, okay, you know, we won't move on you. And they say, okay, well, you can have the United States and you can do what you want to, you know, Americans and to blacks and so on. And you can do this and do that, but let us have this and this. And so they kind of did like the mafia does. You know, they chopped up all their organized crime into, you know, whatever. And they said, well, you know, if you want to move on one of our dudes, you can't just go take out and whack one of our dudes. You got to, you know, consult us and get our permission to take dude out. You can't just, you know, willy-nilly because these are made men. So I think that's what it is. You know, it's one of those kind of things. It's just a big mafia kind of thing. But, you know, the original mafia, you know, not these other dudes. So, you know, the pre-Las Vegas mafia, in other words, the pre-Prohibition mafia. That's what I'm talking about. The ones that have been around for a long time. Pre-Italy, you know what I'm saying? The Roman mafia. Anyway, so, but I mean, like I said, the Catholic Church created the Nazis, so they shouldn't be surprised when it comes back to bite them in the ass. You know, that's just the way it goes. That's what you get. You know what I'm saying? Don't throw mud and expect to come out looking clean, homeboy. So now another thing that's interesting is, you know what's interesting is if they have UFO technology, then they probably, the reason that they're able to pull off all their drug trafficking is because they can just transport through UFOs. I was thinking, you know, that either military convoys or military airplanes were bringing in drugs, or diplomatic, you know, aircraft or boats, whatever, with diplomatic immunity were bringing in the drugs. But it's much more plausible that it would be UFOs if they got UFOs. I mean, why not? And also, you could, you know, with UFOs, they can do all of their kidnappings for their satanic rituals too. So it's something, you know, it's kind of like sort of a no-brainer. And also, you know, it's interesting when you look at the news. I notice that it's only the dope dealers that are the competition that get arrested and locked up. It's never the big players. You never see the ones who are really moving the drugs, who've kept it, who are running these national and international networks and running it like a business operation and or like a military operation. You've never seen them get caught up. So if they're not trafficking it through UFOs, then it's coming through military, you know, craft, or it's coming through, you know, diplomatic immunity, personnel craft, whatever, or what? I mean, come on. You know, it can't be all just small time movers. I mean, that's just not possible. I grew up in the hood. I know that everybody knew there was an organized network that was national in scope. And it wasn't just some random thing that some black dudes just started cooking up. It was something that somebody else was, you know, facilitating in the background. You know, because it wasn't no black dudes being able to bring in, you know what I'm saying? Just use some common sense. I mean, I'm sure it's the Nazis. You know, they already had international kind of things, and they didn't have any moral, ethical things. They don't care. they're all, you know, demons in human form. So anyway, likewise, you know, if you look at all the current weather events, the major ones, those are probably manufactured by the Nazis, the U.S. military, or who? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? These major storms, major earthquakes, major tsunamis. I mean, it's either that they're playing around with these technologies and thinking that they're God and just, you know, doing experiments or something and creating stupid stuff, or that they're actually like doing weather warfare, or that they're just trying to, you know, rule the world through ruling the weather. So I don't know what they're doing, but I'm just saying that that's real. Now, if you say, well, but then you're saying Tesla's stuff, how did Tesla, you know, Tesla's stuff, what's his stuff got to do with it? Well, the FBI accessed Tesla's documents. And that's the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It's a national governmental agency. And I guarantee you, if they found anything that was useful to the military, they farmed it out to whichever department. So, I mean, basically, that's it in a nutshell. You know, the Nazi Party is real. They exist. And, you know, Nazism is Illuminism. You know, don't join the Nazi bank. That's all. That's one thing you can do. The other thing is just, you know, tell the truth. You know, live the truth and live free. Live free or die. You know, that's all. Live your Bill of Rights every day. Kowtow to nobody. And, you know, let them know, you know, they're gonna get theirs. You know, they're gonna get theirs. If they think, if these Nazis really think that they're gonna pull this off, they don't really understand reality or nature. You playing with forces, and you're sending out forces that go out in every direction, right? And they all gonna come back, and they gonna crush you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you obviously ain't read no Hinduism, you know. You ain't read about karma, huh? Well, you know, that's just the way it is, man. Everything's based on these fundamental forces. I don't care if you get some, you know, technology and you can play around and you can do all kinds of things and, you know, you think you're all that. I'm going to tell you something, dude. If you guys created that tsunami in Japan or wherever the fuck else, all that karma is yours. And all them forces of pain and suffering and destruction that you cause is going to come right back upon you. And that's the same for all of them. The elites, the Roman Catholics, all these people, man. Everything you ever done is going to come back to you. Are you stupid? You guys are stupid, huh? Because you can't run from your karma. You can hide in a bunker. You can, you know, you can do all kinds of, you know, creative ways to try to get out of your just desserts. You can try. But your karma is going to catch you. It's going to catch you. There is a real all-seeing eye. You know who it is? That's just pure spirit. Don't no man got no all-seeing eye. That's why they got to put cameras up everywhere. That's just proof that you ain't got no all-seeing eye. I can look into your military installation. I can see who you are. I can see where you are. And if I wanted to come find you and get you, I could come get you. See what I'm saying? That's different. How you guys see is you need some little gadgets and gimmicks. But I want you to know, you put out forces, they're going to come back to you. And you're going to pay. You're going to pay every red cent. I guarantee you that.